Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's week 75, and this is what our diggers have for us today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up, Dick DeYoung dug up DOSGAMES /NEWDOS / I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm going to guess something called Lode Runner. Whoa, it's a lot of files. Just from the... oh geez. Where's the read? Well, there's readme.exe. Okay. Welcome... well, it's playing... this is the first time I've ever had a readme play music to me. Through the PC speaker, no less. Welcome to Lode Runner, the year is 2704. Zortek battle robots guard Earth's remaining precious metals. Do you dare risk the perils of their strongholds to reclaim the priceless treasure? Okay then. So, well, very simple controls. Numeric keypad. Fire is left Alt, or fire left is Alt, and fire right is Control. You know, the more I'm reading this, the more it sounds like it might be a Lode Runner clone. So, that's weird. I forgot, I was in the README, not the actual game. So what's the actual game? G Runner. Oh, and we actually do have graphics going on here. Trying to figure out if this is VGA 320 by... if this is 256 color or 16 color. Could be either. And apparently made by James Dingle. Let's see what the options are like. Registration information. Let's see how much the guy wanted for it. Oh, I absolutely hate when people do that as a special effect. You're trying to read something and there's like things going all over, making it hard to read. Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of that. I'm glad that that special effect never caught on. But apparently the guy only wanted $5, so let's see how this goes. Play Lode Runner. Oh yeah, this looks very much like a Lode Runner game. Yep, this is Lode Runner. This is a Lode Runner clone through and through. So for those of you unfamiliar with the concept of Lode Runner... and now it's giving me PC music, speaker music. But yeah, for those unfamiliar with the concept, well, I just screwed myself up. Whoops. Boom. So yeah, for those unfamiliar with the concept, the idea is that you're trying to collect... you're trying to collect various resources and stuff, but you're also making sure not to get caught by the enemies. But the trick is that you have the ability to destroy the floors to the sides of you. And then the enemies can fall into that. But then the enemies can pick up the gold piles too, so... oh, and they can be destroyed, apparently, but it doesn't kill them for very long. Whoops. For very long. Apparently it looks like you don't want to actually kill them, because then they respawn and then they get in your way. So I should point out, this game controls, like, super smoothly. I have zero complaints about the controls here. Well, except for what happened right there, but that was more my fault. I kind of went too far down there on the ladder. So yeah, that was Lode Runner as opposed to Lode Runner. This is actually a pretty competent, that was kind of weird enemy placement. Yeah, it's actually a fairly competent Lode Runner clone, so I'd say check it out if this is your kind of game. Because, based on how much I'm dying, it's clearly not mine. Next up, we have a team dig from Fidin and Christopher Groff. DOSGAMES /ADVENTUR /Lab3D. This is just going to be Ken's Labyrinth, isn't it? This is Ken's Labyrinth. It has to be. Lab3D. It's like... if this is not Ken's Labyrinth, I will, like, do something very inappropriate. It's Ken's Labyrinth. Well, I could potentially set it to run the 360 by 240 res, but just in case it's messed up or something, or just in case it screws up the recording, I'm just going to leave it at 320 by 200. Sound Blaster Adlib looks good. Okay. So the question, though, and the reason why I'm not immediately dismissing this as a failed dig, because I've covered Ken's Labyrinth on my show before, but this might be an earlier version. And that's pertinent because the earlier versions of Ken's Labyrinth were actually considerably different. So... oh yeah, this does look like an earlier version.
Welcome to Ken's Labyrinth.
Still says welcome to Ken's Labyrinth at the start, though. So yeah, the music's different. The sound effects are somewhat similar. The frame rate's not going to be perfect because of still running at a lower cycles count. But that's fine. So yeah, as you can see, the status bar is a bit different. Not to mention the shots. Like, I mean, the shots you got in the normal version of the game are sort of like this blobby sort of thing, but here they're round. And it's the same for the enemies too, I recall. Isn't there a secret wall here? Maybe there's no secret wall here on the So even the maps are slightly different. So yeah, there's no secret there either. Although I don't think there was. Whoops, I'm already getting hit. Well, I don't know what my strafing controls are, but yeah, you can actually see at the bottom that sort of line of dots is your health. And yep, these still exist. Although I don't think they actually... yeah, it doesn't look like having a shot bounce back at you hurts you in this version. So yeah, there are differences. Like, there's even differences with the enemy designs.
Watch where you shoot that thing.
I forgot about that line. And nope.
Save it for later.
The vending machines don't work. So yeah, that's... remember, for those of you who've watched my coverage of Ken's Labyrinth on ancient DOS games, some of you probably remember how I mentioned that the game felt like it was sort of like just a mishmash of ideas being brought together all in just as it was going along. It was being that Ken Silverman was making it up as he went along. Well, when you go back to these earlier versions and you see like the vending machine that doesn't work, you kind of get a feel for that sort of going on. Like, I mean, it really does feel like the game was put together as he was going along. It's been a while since I played Ken's Labyrinth.
Save it.
Right, there's the silver key room right there. And then we go in here. Okay, so maybe the secret does still exist. Although it looks like it may not... okay, so the secret does still exist, but it's no longer like a preview of enemies. Rather, it's just a whole bunch of food items. Which you probably noticed you can actually pick up even if you're already full on health. Because they're worth points. Or maybe not. Okay, so picking up the food items is actually totally useless. Oh, that music's familiar. So yeah, not all of the music is different. But there's definitely some differences here between the final version of the game that most people are familiar with.
Ouch!
And those ghosts are still as annoying as ever.
Ow.
As are the bats.
Ow.
Okay, so I don't think I really have to show too much more about this. For those of you curious about Ken's Labyrinth who don't know a lot about it, I did a full Ancient DOS Games episode on it a long time back, so you can still find that on my channel. It's one of the Season 1 episodes, so you really gotta go far back for it. But it runs better there because I've got the cycles properly set up for that, because most of the games I find here on Shovelware Diggers are not 3D games like this, so I have the cycles set pretty low by default. Ken's Labyrinth has some other issues, though, when you try to deal with the cycles count. That's why I haven't bothered adjusting it. But yeah, check out my coverage on Ancient DOS Games if you want to learn more about it. And other than that, this is a really fun game that I recommend everybody give a shot at least once, especially now that it's freeware. And to finish things off for today, Robert Mackey's dug up WINGAMES /GG/SDODGEM. Well, we've had 2 good games so far, so considering we're going to the GG folder, which probably stands for good game, let's hope that whatever SDODGEM is happens to be another good one. And we could have a triple good game episode. Oh, we actually got a MIDI file and some WAV files, so this might actually be one of those. Space Dodgem is a Windows Shareware version of the classic board game of Dodgem. Wait a minute. Something about this seems familiar. I guess I'm going to find out sooner or later, but needs VB Run 300, which didn't look like it had with it, but that should be fine, because I think VB Run 300 is in the Windows sys. So, made by someone named Steve Neely. I'm not seeing too much in the README, so let's try running it. Welcome to Space Dodgem, with some classic Windows icons for the space shuttle and stuff. We are about to enter the Crisis Zone. Okay, so we're already ripping off Twilight Zone references, but anyway, space station, its engine's dead, its power nearly exhausted, drifts helplessly into the path of a rogue asteroid. All landers and shuttles must try to launch free before the asteroid's impact vaporizes the station. First player to get his or her shuttles or landers off the station wins. Okay, so it does sound sort of like a board game of sorts. Oh, geez, we got a countdown. We almost... Ugh, there's the asteroid coming. Oh, geez. It shuttles... Oh, that's interesting. It's actually using the menu bar to give information about the state of the game. It's kind of weird. Can change board size, can change time to impact. Oh, we could turn on sound effects and music. I can't say I recognize the music. If anybody knows what this music is, let me know. But maybe it was actually made for the game. I don't know. Oh, and I can set to play against the computer. I'll play novice against the computer, which means I'm playing as the landers. Okay, so I can actually switch sides. So as the landers... I'm not quite sure how this works. So let's say if I wanted to move like that... Okay, I can move them in any direction I want. And apparently you do have a countdown time, so the idea is to get as many off as you can before then. Okay, so that's one gone. Landers 1. All landers have been safely launched. Okay, so interesting. So now let's say if instead I want to play against a harder computer opponent, set it to intermediate. Ooh, Now the computer's about to win. Darn it. Although now I'm curious what happens if the asteroid actually hits. So let's set it to just 48 seconds. And let's get everybody out on the board. Now let's just wait. 10 seconds to impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That was actually kind of a neat effect given the limitations of Windows. Space Station was vaporized. Not all shuttles and landers made it off in time. Oh well. Oh geez, and now it's just a big ball of fire. Okay. So that was Space Dodgem. This is actually pretty fun. Very basic board game, but the guy wanted $10 for it. Programmed in Visual Basic 3.0. I don't know. For $10... It doesn't do well, let's put it this way, it's competently made, that's for sure. Like, I mean, we've seen a whole bunch of games that just don't run well at all. And you can adjust, like, many of the different settings. We can set it to 768 seconds for a game. I don't think it would take that long, even with the board this big, but... And it's good that it has different levels of skill for the computer player, and... You know what? Yeah, this is actually a decent game. for the price, given how simple it is, given the fact that it plays well, has options. We had 3 hits today. That's usually like 2 hits more than most days here on Shovelware Diggers, but so yeah, Space Dodgem. Definitely another one to check out.